Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I do not fancy myself a mind reader, but I'm certain what everybody's thinking. Well, I'm going to say those golden words. We are now headed towards the final panel discussion of today's. We're now headed towards the final session of today's expo, today's conference, cost efficient infrastructure, global cost saving practices for India, to examine how India can adopt and adapt proven international best practices, engineering innovations, and project management strategies to significantly lower costs and improve efficiency in the development of rail and mobility infrastructure. Join me as I welcome the panelists. Please put your hands together for Mr. Harsimran Singh, CVO, Hindustan Copper Limited. Please welcome Mr. Ashish Singh, Director, Angibiz Reprionji. I sincerely hope that I pronounced it correctly. All right, fantastic. Up next, please give it up for Mr. Anirudh Kumar, Senior Vice President and Head Business Development, Kalpataru Projects International Limited. Welcoming Mr. Varun Pandya, Additional General Manager, Business Development, Tata Projects. दोबारा कोशिश करते हैं और इस बार कोशिश तालियों के साथ करेंगे. ज़्यादा डिफिकल्ट नहीं है, right? All we've got to do is bring both of our palms together and welcome all the panelists who did manage to take out time from their very busy schedule, meeting perhaps a birthday or a baby boy or baby girl's PTM missed or something or the other. Everybody has a reason to be here and everybody shall be celebrated for the same. Please put your hands together for Mr. Vipul Mishra, Senior Development Specialist, JICA. Thank you. And last but not the least, completing the panels, let's give it up for Mr. Kumar Keshav, Board Member and Director, DB RRTS Operations. Time to welcome the moderator. Please put your hands together for the President and Chief Business Officer at Jakson Infra, Mr. Venkat Ramana Muvalla.
Hello. Yeah, thank you. Good evening to all of you. I think in the session that we have all, probably this will be a very comprehensive session and will give you a lot of perspectives around cost economics and what is required to be done to improve and some of the global practices and what is being done in India. So I think I'm not going to introduce separately the panel members. She is already invited. We will more focus about the topic that we have in front of us so that we could utilize the time pretty well here. So having said that, there has been very clear progress which we have made in the last, I would say, 12 years to 15 years in depending on the kind of a metro or the railways that we have been engaged. So economics, if you really look at it in terms of a metro, just to bring and navigate everybody all across here. So if I focus apart from the land acquisition part of it, typical construction cost in India for a metro where we can see elevated metro is between 250 to 350 crores per kilometer. Whereas underground is about 500 to 600 crore per kilometer. Where do you stand on this international comparison? I think some of the data indicates that in the international, for the construction for the elevated, it's almost like a 1200 to 1600 crore as such. It's a phenomenal difference. I think that would clearly indicates we are doing good in terms of construction cost. On underground, if you see there in the international is almost going around 1800 to 2200 crore, whereas India has been managing between 500 to 600 crore. But there are caveats. It is a broader data point. It is not specific of any metro. So therefore, I would say that this is the data is a more of an indicator. The next is that what is the labor share in the whole metro cost? If you look at 25 to 30% of the total cost is a labor cost. And if you compare this in the international, that will be almost close to 50 to 60%. There is a phenomenal difference. That means we have a low cost of labor, and there is a lot of advantage we gain in the overall capex perspective in this as such. But I think important point is that we should have a trained, skilled manpower. That is definitely the key pointer as far as the manpower is concerned. Now coming to the land acquisition, the cost is again 15 to 40%, whereas in globally it is much cheaper. It's between 5 to 10%. That's indication. Last but not the least, again the data indicates the time for delivering a metro is varying between 5 years to 8 years for a 100-kilometer stretch, whereas in the international, some of the Chinese examples are clearly there for us between 3 year to 5 year. So if this is being the data, we can clearly see that some of the areas where we have already doing good, but some of the areas where there could be a potential to do better and take some global and local experiences on that. So having said that, my question to our panel is particularly on how India infrastructure project compare with the international benchmarks. I think I would request Dr. Kumar Keshav, then Mr. Anirudh, and then Mr. Vipul Mishra to really go on that, and each one have say 2 minutes to take it forward as such. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Venkat. And first and foremost, probably comparing globally is not very appropriate because costs are entirely different in global market and Indian market. That is one thing. And standards of metros may also be different because they are making mostly unattended train operation very advanced, while we are still going with a good signaling system, not unattended train operation everywhere. So more important is that costing is good in the sense that if I do within the country itself, when we started Delhi Metro, because I was originally in Delhi Metro phase 1 cost for elevated and underground was substantially higher than the phase 2. It got reduced in phase 3. More because more and more localization happened, more and more industries were already established here, good machinery, good consultants, they all were here. And as a result, successively, if you see the metros which have come up later, when I did Lucknow and others, cost has further come down. It is not that standards have come down, it is the cost has come down because industry has established, for example, Alstom has got their own industry in Sri City, so now they have the capacity to build the trains and supply at a cheaper price. So this is my view on it, but I think probably we have reached to the top bottom. Now probably with this cost we should try to improve the quality a little bit more. This is my idea. Yes, local manufacturing, not only manufacturing, the technical competence which has come up in the country, in the professionals, means engineers, signaling engineers, well-educated traction people, third rail traction, all those people, technologies and learnings are already there. So now, most of the general consultants, I give an example, most of the general consultants, when we did Lucknow, Delhi Metro phase 1, 2, they were expatriates, but now you find most of the experts are local.
Fantastic. So I would take Mr. Anirudh Kumar, if you can bring your perspective on the same topic.
Yeah, good afternoon everyone. So if we compare the cost in India for any metro railway project with respect to any project outside India, so you will find a different way of comparison. If you will see the simply cost, so then you will see that definitely in India it is much cheaper than if you compare with the Europe or maybe some America, Latin America. Even with Africa also, if you compare the per kilometer cost of a railway infrastructure in Africa or in India, so it is definitely cheaper in India. But my perspective is this, that it is not only railway, construction cost is cheaper. If you have to buy just 1 liter of water in Europe, it will cost you approximately 1.5 euro. So that will be approximately 150 rupees. And in India, you can have in 20 rupees. So it is a purchase parity, purchase power parity, basically. So we should not be happy that we are constructing railway in a cheaper way. No. We have to bring the efficiency. So if we compare with the purchase power parity, then we should be cheaper. So in my view, that we should have a system like that, that project should not get delayed. What is happening, if you will see the average, I have seen the data at the Ministry of Statistics, you will find that average delay of a project having more than 150 crore is 39 months. So this extra duration, that is leading to the extra costs. So we cannot say that we are cheaper. We are costlier because we are constructing projects which are late by 39 months. Similarly, not only this, it is increasing the cost also, because when project is delayed, so due to inflation, prices have also increased. So that is in nutshell, it is increasing the cost. But definitely we have to bring some efficiency in the system. The DPR should be prepared at the initial stage, at the concept stage. The project planning should be in such a manner that you are able to finish the project on time. If you compare it with the global standard, so average delay in India is 3.5 years, but if you see in China, it is around 1 year. If you see Japan, it is less than a year. So in that perspective, we have to see.
But I think very, very well said. The timelines is something which we can look at it a lot more. Yeah. So I will ask further perspective from you as well. Yeah.
Thank you, Chair, and very good afternoon. And I do second the opinion of my fellow panelists. They have nicely said. But let me put a light on that, how we compare the Indian projects with the other country projects. In absolute numbers, we are doing the work in a cheaper cost. But the factor which we consider, that all the projects appraised by the government of India with a defined timeline, with defined cost. The moment like 99% projects are funded by the external agencies like JICA, World Bank, ADB. The moment we step in and we sign the agreement with the government of India, it's a sovereign loan or whatever the financial support we provide, the time which required is not being considered in the project implementation schedule. So if a metro project given in 5 years of completion in the CCA note, and if we start from the very beginning, negotiations of any financial institute and then subsequent procurement of the consultant, and then of course each project goes time overrun, cost overrun. I think this is the aspect we should cover in the project appraisal itself while designing the project, the administrative side. So these timelines should all be considered, and the cost effectiveness, of course, we still have scope to at least match whatever the project cost is sanctioned for the concerned project. Yeah, thank you.
I think we well covered. We would like we to be quicker on that. I think this is the very important point, so we spent sufficient time. So the another point is that what is that we can learn from the global practices or otherwise some of the early stage metro projects that we have done. So once again, Dr. Kumar Keshav, if you could get something on that.
One thing which comes to my mind is, sorry, I'm not speaking on behalf of that because I'm right now DB operations also. Don't take it that way.
So no problem. I think I wanted to say that we have an excellent panel. 2 people represented actually the metros and railways, and 2 people coming from EPC companies, and the one besides to me is coming from my bankers from a perspective. So we'll be happy to hear that perspective from you.
So what I'm trying to say that life cycle cost, operation and maintenance is significantly high. we are not visualizing right now. Initially, the capex is funded either through the equity or by the external funding agency.
Correct.
So ultimately, once the project is implemented, how it is to be operated and maintained in a proper way, so that loan can be paid back and still a good services can be given. This perspective of operation and maintenance is completely lost in project planning stage. So we create an infrastructure which is very good, but whether it is really required, we don't know. How costly it will be during operation, we don't even bother initial stages. I'm telling you because I have spent 21 years in metros in Indian environment, including Delhi Metro and Lucknow and Kanpur, Agra. So my feeling is from the day one, an operator should be brought on board, which happens in PPP projects in this country alone.
Yeah.
Which I mentioned in the morning, when Reliance Metro did Mumbai, they had the operator from the day one. L&T did the Mumbai, Hyderabad, they had the queue list from the day one. Pune is doing the metro line on PPP, they have an operator in advance. So there is an operator who tells them, okay sir, this is what is required, this is how it should be done, this can be optimized, that cannot be optimized. That probably is lacking in the metros at present. Probably this should be brought in to make them financially sustainable.
Great, sir. I think I will be going very quickly on this again to go to the third points, right? What is the standardization as well as the modular construction perspective? What is that something which we can really think about in terms of cost optimization? Can I request Harshman Singh? And then after that, Mr. Ashish Singh.
Thank you. Yeah, modular construction we are talking about here. Basically what it is, it's you are making modules of something. We can say it's in different projects, it can be of different type. Such as in when we talk about metro networks or the bridges, viaducts, here we can have modular construction in the form of segmental construction. We cast segments, we transport them to the site, and with the launcher we erect. So this type of modular construction has in fact enabled the metro works to come up, because had there not been this type of modular construction, we could not have imagined metro structures in the cities, because casting at site with so many of shuttering stagings, it was impossible. Now we have already arrived at this, and now we have to think of something higher kind of modular construction, which we have now started seeing in the bullet train projects. We have got full span launching method, and I am happy to say that India is one of the few countries in the world who have mastered this type of technology, because when this type of projects come up, then the whole ecosystem starts visualizing this and start adopting these kind of things, where they are launching 600-ton segment with 1200 ton of launcher. And then we have other type of modular constructions which you can see, like PEB structures. In Indian Railway, I was the first one to have a modular workshop in the form of PEB. We had set up the first workshop in Haldia, and thereafter I am happy to see that so many PEB structures have started coming up, at least in the government system of railway. Here we have done modularization in the way that in the factory we are constructing, we are fabricating the structures which are built as per the design requirement. So there is a lot of cost optimization, there is least amount of wastage, and then they are very easy to erect at site in no time. Just nuts and bolts have to be tightened. And what is, we were also talking about life cycle cost and operations and maintenance. And if we have got these type of modular structures, even after 10-15 years, if we want to have some changes, the reputed OEM will have the electronic information available, and they can easily do any modifications required, and we can have plug and play kind of things here. So there is need to have more and more of these things, so that we can make our projects more and more viable, more and more cost effective and faster. In fact, in Dubai, I was reading that they had launched one FOB they had launched many FOBs, in fact, for the Dubai Metro, where the entire foot of bridge was launched in the form of full module with sheeting and electric fixtures there already installed. So this is such a fast kind of thing.
Brilliant
And
ideas, I think,
now-
really, yeah.
And now, like now we are having this ultra high performance concrete. It is coming up in a big way in the country now. Already many countries had adopted it in a big way. In fact, Honorable Transport Minister Shri Nitin Gadkari was talking about Malaysian technologies. That is nothing but ultra high performance concrete being used in such a big way. And in fact, they have reduced the thicknesses of the members by 75% and reduced the weight by 70%. So if we adopt these kind of technologies, then these modules will become even much lighter, and we can have bigger spans launched in no time.
Yeah.
So that's all what I could say about modular construction, how it can help and what can be the future. There
Wonderful.
will be around, I think, 40% saving in cost and much saving in time also. Thank you.
Great, sir. Thank you so much. Ashishji, your thoughts?
I think he has very well covered our co-panelists, but only thing, we are generally adopting the modular construction, standard construction, only the things which are generally on-site construction, which are multiple or repetitive of a nature, that we are trying to convert into the modular or the standard construction. This is one. And the public inconvenience, which was the major drive for the metro authorities to go for the modular construction, whether it is a tunnel segments, basically for the TBM or the viaduct construction. But not going into the detail, it has definitely the quality, much better quality, time saving, parallel construction activity. In fact, your predictive maintenance, all those aspects can come into with the adaptation of modular. The only area where I can see, which is not coming, because the ballastless track of the metro, which is generally not causing inconvenience, that has come as a inside construction. Probably this requires some change. RRTS and the bulletin has already pitched into it. In the conventional railway, there is a lot of area where it can come up. All the signaling foundation, location box foundation, all this requires this modular construction. Our current cable trench laying, everything is in situ nowadays. Probably this is something where we can go to the construction. With coming of the ABS system, lot of civil auto huts are required to construct it, in addition to SPS, SP of the electrical. This is something we tried with the precast element, which is generally difficult because these sites are not accessible. So generally the prefab buildings, which is a combination of steel structure and the panels, generally seems to be a better. Baki in the civil construction, probably the bridges, foundation, abutment piers, most of the things are slowly converting in addition to the other buildings. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I think it's been between the two speakers, really a lot of ideas came on this. Wonderful to have it. As we move on to the next point is that what is the modern, the digital project management skills that we should adopt, or the tools that we have to adopt? So I request Vipul ji to cover on that.
Thank you for this question, and I would believe that it's a very important thing in a digital era. So considering like metro as in 4 or 5 phases, from planning to implementation and then construction, operation, and the customer experience. So we have a lot of challenges and issues, and in fact data management of inconsistent data, a lot of data, how to utilize it and how to extrapolate the future scenarios from them. So this problem is kind of an opportunity, and if I would put a light on that, what we are doing as example, that we are working with 3 metro companies, Delhi, Bangalore and Mumbai, to create a metro in a box strategy, in which data will be leveraged from the current perspective, what they are generating, and how it can be further utilized in the effective resource management. Giving example, maybe the fellow panelists can correlate that if a small design change happened in a structure, underground structure or maybe elevated structure, that design change it takes a couple of weeks or in fact a month or 2 to get the rectification done from, and then the goods construction design comes back to the contractor. So if we can create a platform in which is a common platform for the contractor, consultant, employer, as well as the third party consultants, then in one platform, a drawing can be changed. If a architect can change the drawing, the designer can change the drawing, and can be reviewed right away with the complier and deliver the same day or in couple of days to the contractor. So those delays can be eliminated. Likewise, during the operation side, if we can have some predictive maintenance use cases in which we can predict that, okay, this system or this product has already reached the lifespan and can be occurs a failure at any point of time. So those data can be leveraged for the identification of the future scenarios. So those are capex and opex costs. Both the cash costs can be reduced. So if we use this data in a right way, getting a strategy to implementation, and then third is the user experience. When like a person want to take a metro, if a journey planning can be done, already there's some softwares are there, but it's a integration of the all multimodal system, like railways, metros or buses, and some integration is there. So those data leverage still is opportunity in India, and many metros are doing, but still I think I would believe that if one platform, one portal can be created from very beginning and to the user experience, it will be very helpful for this. I think
Thank you.
I should
That's
cover
really
it.
good.
Yeah.
I think
Thank
it's
you.
all life cycle approach is really, that's what you're recommending to have in mind in a comprehensive life cycle. So now we'll go into the next one is, what is the modern procurement techniques or value engineering one can think of adopting there as such. I think then this I would like to request Harshmanji and Kumar Keshav. Harshmanji. We have just 22 minutes. We have about 5 pointers to cover. Kindly stick to 2 minutes.
Like just now we have hello.
Yeah, sorry.
Just now as we heard that we can leverage from the technology in this regard.
Yeah.
Now regarding value engineering, so to know that if we have to do some value engineering and then how the technology can help out, as you were saying that we need to monitor the project in real-time basis. So now like 5D BIM and all these have come up. So rather than going for just 3D model, when we add this dimension of time and the dimension of cost, then we can realistically find out that what will be the cost in which scenario. And similarly, we can have this great advantage from the digital twins also. So we know that if we do this modification, this will be the cost and these will be the risks. So when all these things are known to us, we can very well do value engineering. And in fact, not only in terms of during the construction of the project, in fact, even later on, when the maintenance etc. is to be done, these technologies can help a lot. They can reduce the downtime, they can increase the availability of the equipment and the asset, and the overall lifetime can be certainly increased to a great extent.
Great, thank you. I think Kumar Keshav, I'll move on to the next one. The next one is about the skill development and build the local capability. So maybe you can start that.
Skill development is one issue which we are badly lacking, this I will say. Why? Because when internationally we do the projects, somebody is certified as a plumber or technician or electrician. I'm not talking about engineers or diploma holders, I'm talking about that level. And as we all understand, now we are making also the world-class metros with best technologies in signaling, in civil construction also, pre-stressed concrete and other things. Now in this scenario, today the construction labor is agricultural labor, which is when they are free from their side, from the agricultural fields, they come to the cities and do the agricultural work, construction work. They are not certified as any plumber or carpenter or anything. This skill development is very, very necessary if we want to take our projects faster, very properly and accurately. So I will suggest there should be a system where, suppose I am a fitter, I am certified as a fitter, means I am a certified electrician, then I can take up this work which is internationally available. So I will do work very properly. one thing. The other thing, I know all the hazards, I know all the safety precautions because I'm regularly certified by it. Less accidents means more output from the people. So this probably is one field where we have to learn and we have to do something. And I will also like to mention here, even for engineers, railway engineering is not being taught in any of the curriculum in any engineering colleges. So probably railway is a big transport sector. Probably this should be covered somewhere.
But I'm presently surprised this morning to see that, Gati Shakti University being making on that. I think we are on the right track, but institutionalizing the skill development is a very, very essential element of that. Thank you. So I'll move on to the next one. Again, in importance of life cycle cost analysis in infrastructure planning. This I would like to ask Varun if you can bring up some of the points here, and then followed by Vipul ji.
Yeah, so infrastructure life cycle cost, that is very much critical right now, because we can, that we are literally leakaging the cost in terms of manpowers, in terms of materials, and this idling of manpowers and resources, because we are not adopting this digitalization and mechanization. Although we have completed almost 99% railway electrification across India, 64,000 route kilometer across India, but 100% electrification we have completed through extensive labor oriented job and through labors only. So we are lagging in terms of implementing or deployment of RRVs or another mechanized tools and augers and all. So there is a lot of work is to be done, and I sincerely request, and although we have made many presentations to the government and policy makers that to implement all these circular foundations and change in designs, and because all these designs and everything it has been designed in 60s and 70s, and still in 2025 we are adopting that. So there is a need of an hour, and we need to start implementing the best practices across the which have already been implemented outside India, and it's a big market in terms of mechanization. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Vipul ji, your thoughts?
Thank you. I think for the audience, first to understand what is the life cycle cost. I think we start from the very home. Any equipment you buy, any electronics you buy. So for example, if you buy air condition, you prefer like 5-star air condition instead of 4-star, 3-star, putting extra some money, 3-4 couple of thousand adding to it. So having the product or asset, creating an asset is not I think is what we are looking for. We are looking for the sustainability side also. So if we putting up the money and creating an asset or buying equipment or buying any system, so we are looking also at the operational side of it. So I think this life cycle cost is well I think taken at the planning stage itself. And of course, since it's many practices being used by the many, I think railways also using NTPC, and many PSUs are using, that is a voluntarily. So for example, that if I have to put up this light in this office, so maybe I have an option of putting a CFL, or now it's LED is mandatory, and then still we have option that illumination and other things aspects are there. So I think it has to come up from the employer side, that there should be some rated criteria and some advantage to be given, a kind of a merit point system. Let's say if a contractor is willing to provide in the methodology that this system has a 10-year of guarantee period, but some other contractor is maybe is putting some additional advantage and giving 15-year of operation period or the guarantee of the product, I think that should be taken care of in the procurement itself. Some sort of technical advantage of the methodology and work provided in the contract should be given. And there are some initiatives from the government of India side itself, but I think pan-India, it is still in consideration, and many advanced countries have already taken up green public procurement policy, that is a mandatory, they have kept it in the public procurement. But for India side, I think we DFI is also advocating the same, and I think in our projects somehow we will align our projects in the Paris Agreement, and then of course some sort of life cycle cost and merit point system, and then the rated criteria system will be added in the future procurements. Thank you.
Great. I think we'll move on to the next one. Is related to how Indian projects can be designed in a better way to maintain the reliability, which is a very crucial, particularly the urban infrastructure. The time is a very essence, as such, and then look at what is the right thing to do in terms of operation maintenance perspective. I think I would request Ashish ji and then Harsiman Singh ji comment on that.
Sir, this is currently the current contract condition doesn't permit for the ramps kind of a system in the bidding. It is L1 based, or it is some condition of a defect liability period. So first the client or the authority has to come that they want to have a contract which have a ramps of the reliability, accessibility, maintainability and all those conditions in the contract. Metro is generally slightly putting these conditions into this and slightly matured, but the conventional railway lacks in various ways. However, many things are getting improved. ABS system makes the system available for the next train to come into in a very short period. Moving block system with the Kavach is getting it much better, and probably the CBTC system with the LTE spectrum allocation of the railway, probably it will improve it further. But it is a short steps I am talking about, not from the perspective that the ramps we have to go for. So probably the small steps we can take is the fencing, providing fencing, removing LC, providing underpasses, overhead, and corridor means this kind of things is a small step which will help in the availability and the reliability. Precast system definitely, adaptation, all those things will definitely help into this. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Harsiman ji.
I would like to first cite one small example. About 7 years ago, I was assigned some task during some advanced management program, and I was searching for some project which had completed and what is the cost of completion. It had become a Herculean task. Finally, we could find some project in South Western Railway which had been completed over a period of about 15-20 years, and the cost had become 15 to 16 times. But I am happy that now the government has started focusing on completing the projects, and several projects are now getting completed. May not be in time, but with some cost overrun. The basic reason is because they are not failing because the contractors are not doing good work. Basically, the planning is lacking here. Like before calling a tender, we are not finalizing the drawings. We are not giving the accurate geotech investigations and survey details. We are not finalizing the scope. Our cost is not clearly depicting what is our requirement, where it is not matching with the material specifications. What is the methodology to be adopted for erection of structures or for even for tunneling projects, whether it's to be, there is some vague area left out, whether it will be cut and cover or through TBM. And then again, if we require certain kind of manpower and certain kind of equipment, that is not well defined. Apart from this, there is again lack of clarity regarding what will be the different impacts on various stakeholders. Particularly in urban environment, when you have to work, there will be requirement of dealing with the police for the traffic diversions, with the public. There will be so much public inconvenience. There is not clarity whether the forest clearance is at which stage and environment clearance is at which stage. In fact, the ground survey is not done properly. There are so many good techniques available. GPR technique can be used, and you can find out what are the cables and what are the various utilities which are to be diverted and how they will be diverted. And once the project is started, then somebody will come and they will say, let us not use this alignment, let us go via some other alignment. There will be issues within this. So all these things lead to disputes later on, and these lead to delays, and if there are delays, obviously there will be cost overrun. So if there is better coordination, better planning at the beginning, certainly the projects can be completed in time and in less cost.
Thank you. I think I will very quickly move on to the next one, while you have brought a lot of good perspectives as such. And this time I would request Anirudhji to speak on this. How can coordination between the multiple agencies be improved, prevent the delays? I think this is one of the major challenge the industry is facing.
So basically, if we talk about the involvement of multiple agencies, so there are two stages. One is at the beginning of the project for getting the approvals, like you have to take approval from aviation department, environment department, forest department, municipality. So many approvals are required before just take up the project before at a concept stage. For that purpose, already government has started a Gati Shakti portal. So any infrastructure project has to be built. So it went to the Gati Shakti portal, and the multiple agencies who have the stake in that particular project, they can give their input, so it can be done. Similar way for the clearances for the environment, forest or coastal regulation zone or wildlife, there is again a portal for Parivesh. But all these are only before the start of the execution. Now the situation comes when contractor is appointed and he has to start the work and day-to-day basis doing the execution. Then he has to deal with the traffic management, he has to deal with the environmental and different issues. If this is the railway, if we talk about the hydropower, then you will say that every day, daily basis, you have to deal with the environment and forest department. So we don't have any system for coordination where you can have a just immediate decision from these departments during the execution. So for that, I think government should do something. So during execution, the issues can be sorted out easily. That is my take.
Thank you. Yeah, please add that. Yeah.
So I'm not taking into the initial phase. I'm just putting the conditions where the contractor generally get stuck up, and these are the area where probably it requires
couple of pointers if you can give.
So metro, definitely the chartered unchartered utilities, dispute resolution board, because in the metro system the dispute generally something gets stuck up because of the authority individual decisions. So this is there in the railway, not in the metro. Third, in the metro segment, there is technical specifications are mentioned for the system packages I'm talking about, but there is a specific vendor choice for each different metro. A specific vendor is needed or get approved. So normally the bids are put in different ways, and at the time of approval, everything gets stuck up because it has a cost implication. Similarly, shall I take it or you want to?
No. I think if we can restrict there, that will be wonderful. Yeah, thank you. I'm coming to the last point, particularly very, very important. What is the policy changes we needed to institutionalize the cost efficiency? I would ask Varun and then supported subsequently by Kumarji.
So first of all, that we need to decide this what kind of strategy we need to adopt, because there are two kind of strategies. One is cost leadership and another one is product differentiation. So right now that its government is only focusing on cost leadership, and because of that we know that all bidding contracts and all that is based on the L1 base. Now that L1 base, that is purely on the basis of lowest bidding cost and all, without having detailed working on the project and its scope of works. So it always that project has a high chance that it may not get success. And apart from that, proposed reform is quality based, cost based selections, that is product differentiation kind of. And global benchmark, there are certain UK's contracts are there, and in Delhi Metro, that is a HAME model, that is hybrid annuity model they have adopted for phase 4. In terms of design standards, yes, custom designs, we need to adopt national standardization of design manuals and all. China has already done in 70% repeatable designs, and Kochi Metros has done standardized viaduct and saved 15% of the cost. In terms of land acquisitions, that yes, majority of the projects, in substations and in TL, and those projects are delayed due to land acquisition and all. Land benchmarking, land acquisition is it should be pre-approved in terms of high-value contracts, and Japan has already done this, and Gujarat Dholera is the model that they have acquired 100% land before going for any projects. In terms of technology mandates, that ad hoc adoption is in new technologies like BIM and digital tools and network and another tools like rework due to clashes and all. In railways, we were using tilos also. We have implemented, that is time and locations that shows that. So all these kind of technology implementations that has to be there, and it mandates these 4D and 5D for all projects having cost of more than 500 CR. In Singapore has already done this BIM model in 2024 roadmap projects, and Chennai Metro BIM digital twin has already implemented. Life cycle costing, we have already discussed about it, and in nutshell, that I would suggest that as UK is also monitoring that infrastructure project health. Apart from that, we need to, it's need of an hour to amend the PPP guidelines to allow the hybrid model. Mandate the value engineering in DPR rather than only focusing on the cost leadership strategy, and create a national database for cost benchmarking.
Thank you. Really comprehensive. I think like the way that it's just not the cost as a focus. One has to really think about value that can come out of that as such. Kumarji, your last thoughts.
Very briefly, two things come to my mind. First, there is something called as constructability review.
Yeah.
Probably this has to be institutionalized. Sorry. So this is required to be done because practically all the problems people were raising, this land acquisition, tree cutting permission, archaeological clearance, even plant, machinery, technologies, manpower, there has to be a constructability review, which is undertaken internationally. A project is visualized, okay, but is it possible to construct it? It may be possible to construct it in Mumbai, but may not be possible to construct in Lucknow. It's like this.
Yeah.
So that should be done. Actually, if we adopt that, then advantage will be, then projects can still be worked out in time. Some value addition, some modifications can be done in initial stages before going for the bidding. Now, one more issue which you said, institutionally, what changes can be done?
Right.
Specifically for the metros, I would like to say that there are confusions. Means, although I am from government sector, I can say that metro projects are under Ministry of Housing Urban Affairs, but technical planning is under Ministry of Railways. So means you think how we move, means project is under him and technical planning is under Ministry of Railways. So means why it cannot be unified as one?
Yeah.
That's one thing.
Yeah.
Leave only this. Then when the metro becomes operational, certification of metro is by Commissioner of Metro Railway Safety. He is under Ministry of Civil Aviation. So you think you implement a project, we are talking about state government, central government. In central government there are 3 ministries. Why it cannot be better modified? This is what I feel. Probably things can be improved, or there may be some examples somewhere else in the world, all these projects.
I think you brought much larger perspective as far as the government is concerned, how multiple agencies can lead to a lot of delay in this. If one unified agency has been identified, probably that is going to solve certainly the problem, and whatever the industry looking at it to achieve the faster implementation. And some of the issues that challenges, one agency will be able to solve all of them as such. I think this is a wonderful pointer. I would say that I learned a lot in the entire discussion, and valuable contribution to the entire panel. Thank you, and one round of applause to the entire panel. Thank you.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And we cannot let you leave without presenting a small token of appreciation for your valuable time and for your insights. Could I please encourage everyone to kindly come forward for a quick group picture as well? And joining us on stage is the Executive Director at Urban Infra Group. Please welcome Shri Om Prakash Shah. एक सेकेंड शाह साहब रुक जाइए, तालियों के साथ आपका स्वागत करेंगे वरना नहीं करेंगे, राइट? कैन वी प्लीज bring up a very enthusiastic cheer for Mr. Shah? Thank you. And post this, I must encourage all our esteemed panelists, all the speakers to kindly join us and take a quick stroll about the stalls. Fantastic. Mr. Vipul Mishra. Mr. Harsimran Singh. सर मतलब मैं रेसिस्ट नहीं होना चाहती पर हरसिमरन सिंह तो इजी हो जाएगा ना. Up next, Mr. Ashish Singh, followed by Mr. Anirudh Kumar. And the next one to Mr. Varun Pandya. Well, I would also like to mention that since this is the second address by Mr. Kumar Keshav, I believe we've already presented a token of appreciation to the gentleman. And last but not the least, to the moderator. Same as well, this was moderator's second innings here up on the stage. So thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the final panel here at the RailTrans Expo 2025. Let's give a big round of applause to these gentlemen. Well, we still have a few minutes before we close in, so I must encourage everyone to pull up their socks, tie their laces, and take a quick stroll about all the stalls present here. With the same, this is your host Sahibjeet Kaur on behalf of Urban Infra Group saying goodbye and hoping to see you all tomorrow for the day 2 of the RailTrans Expo. Thank you.
wonderful idea and very thoughtful and a great exhibition. I really congratulate not only for organizing this thing,
यहाँ पे आने के बाद मतलब 2 दिन हमने स्पेंड किया और 2 दिन में हमें काफ़ी सारे अच्छे क्लाइंट्स मिले। इवन सम हमें रेलवे की भी कुछ ऑफिसर्स मिले।
When we had installed our stock, we were getting all the supports, all the manpower, all the equipments and tools that we needed. It was really pleasant experience over here.